on completing the Club Day event featuring this beautiful Bugatti Divo. The next event you will have access to, and that is of course the 2021 NASCAR Daytona 500 special event. So featuring of course the 2021, the new season NASCARs. I understand NASCAR is not for everybody, so I get all that, but I suppose to entice you to try it out, there's some 50 gold to be won by completing the series, the event, special event, along with the new NASCAR you win. Of course, you have to spend some motorsport dollars to meet the PR requirement. All the cars, there are 8 cars, by the way, this year, this time around, 2021 season. So they all have the same base PR of 45.4, which is, a little bit higher than the last year's. That's pretty typical, right? And the PR requirement to complete this event, Daytona 500, is 52.8. So you can meet the PR requirement using tuning setups only, meaning just using the racing motorsport dollars, right? So let's take a look. So as you can see, 10 tuning setups available for gearbox mapping, also 10 for power unit optimization. So the gearbox, of course, deals with the top speed. Power unit optimization deals with acceleration. Just 2 tuning setups available for brakes calibration, because I mean it's Daytona Speedway. You rarely will ever use brakes, right? And then the final category being the suspension, which deals with the grip, and there are 6 tuning setups available. So so that is total of 28 tuning setups available, which is pretty, once again, typical. It's like upgrades, right? 28 has been sort of the standard number. So, and you don't even have to get all 28 tuning setups to meet the PR requirement to complete the event and win the car. You only need, you would need 26, 24 tuning setups out of everything that's available, because you don't need to get the final 2, step 9 and step 10 on both gearbox mapping and power unit optimization. So you only basically need to get 8 in gearbox mapping, 8 in power unit optimization, and then the other 2, obviously you have to max it out because they're cheaper, right? So the total cost for that is gonna be 1.8 million, or 1,826,900 motorsport dollars. So that's the minimum that you need. So and you get 150,000, or actually 250,000 motorsport dollars back as a reward. And for each tuning setup you get, your crew chief, which is like team principal for NASCAR, will earn 170 XP. And you're not going to be able to max out your crew chief's level, the XP from this event. Even when you max out your tuning setups, there's just not enough. And that'll also cost you gold as well to level up your crew chief or your drivers. So unless you really like NASCAR and you want to go, all in on NASCAR, I'm more on the side of conserving your gold, especially when you get 50. Keep the 50, don't spend it, right? So so with that being said, we have 8 cars or 8 teams this season. We got Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Camry, 23XI Racing, another Toyota Camry, Team Penske, once again, Ford Mustang, just like last year, and same for Stu has racing another Ford Mustang. And then remaining 4 teams are going to be all Chevy Camaro ZL11LE with a slightly varying specs, right? And as I said, they all start at the same base PR, and they all cap out at the more or less the same PR, right? So it's a matter of where do you put emphasis on in your car's performance. So, you know, there's like 23XI Racing Toyota, right? That one has the top speed, the like fastest top speed, and second fastest acceleration. So that's definitely without a doubt #1 speedster. And here, let's check out all the cars first. So Richard Childress Racing, another Chevy Camaro, right? And Chip Ganassi Racing, also, as I was saying, Chevy Camaro. And Hendrick Motorsports, also Chevy Camaro. So here, since they don't show you the spec when you're looking at these car choice selection, let me show you something else. This is a little bit easier to decipher what they do, right? So I got the 8 teams listed on the far left column, and the 4 categories of performance, right? So we got top speed, acceleration, braking distance, and grip, and of course base PR is all same. And then I sort of summarized the characteristic. So especially for Daytona event, your top speed and acceleration is going to be crucial. So my recommendation would be 23XI Racing Camry. I feel like that's what everybody's going to be racing for this event. So I don't know. Probably the worst choice would be the Stu Haas Racing Ford Mustang, just because, you know, it suffers. It's got the slowest top speed and the slowest acceleration, uniquely slower than all the others, right? But it does have the highest grip. So, you know, when you're racing this car in, well, anywhere else other than speedways, right? Then those high grip can come in clutch, you know. So that's the #1 gripper, right? Stu Haas. So yeah, for this event, I don't think that's a very good choice. So as you can see, top priority being top speed and acceleration for Daytona 500, I would say 23XI Racing Toyota Camry is your #1 pick. And the Hendrick Motorsports Chevy Camaro XL11LE, right? That one's not bad. I think that one comes in because you still have the, you know, second fastest top speed, and the acceleration is a little bit on a slower end of the spectrum. But you know, with the Daytona 500, you rely heavily on momentum. So acceleration, while it does help, it's not going to be as crucial as at the, you know, end of the day. How fast can you go faster than the next guy, right? Once you've been, you know, circling around the speedway for a few laps, right? So that's where the top speed is probably going to have more importance than the acceleration if you have to pick between the two, unless, you know, it's like completely far off, then obviously that throws off your equation. Sort of like the Richard Childress Racing Camaro, right? Top speed is at the bottom, but acceleration is at the top. While acceleration is great, having the lowest top speed at Daytona 500 is going to be not as favorable spec. I don't think. That's just what I'm thinking. And for Daytona 500, even the lowest grip of 1.1 G that you start off on any of these cars, my thought is you will still be able to take all the circuits flat out on these NASCARs. It's not like you're gonna have to use brakes and slow down heading into those tri-oval circuit. You know, it's not a thing in NASCAR. What can I say? Just like the right turn is not a thing in NASCAR. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So 23XI, definitely the number one pick for the Daytona 500. Number two pick, I would say, is a Hendrick Motorsport Chevy Camaro. And then after that, things get kind of similar. I don't think one's gonna come out super far ahead than the others. So for example, like the three Camaros at the bottom of this list, right? The Chip Ganassi and Richard Childress and Richard Petty. Yeah, like Chip Ganassi has essentially speed over grip, and then the Richard Petty has grip over speed, right? They are both kind of like middle of the road. And then, of course, Richard Childress is all about the acceleration. They don't care about anything else, right? And on the grip side, of course, Stu Haas, as I was saying earlier, is the top dog there. And number two gripper, I think, is the Team Penske Mustang, because while the grip is same as Joe Gibbs Racing Camry, but the fact that its emphasis is more on the acceleration than the top speed kind of tells me its emphasis more on the grip side than on the going faster. And that's 0.02 second quicker, on this list. So I feel like that's, I don't know, will that be really noticeable in game? That is to be determined, but something that you will definitely notice is a top speed, you know what I mean? Especially when you're just circling around these speedway circuits on and on and on. So yeah, so these are the, specs at the base PR, and as you put tuning setups on, these specs will all increase more or less kind of equal across the board for all cars, I think. So, the characteristics will remain the same. So yeah, unless you plan on using tuning setups to compensate for certain cars lacking performance or exaggerate certain performance aspects, then you might come up with a different strategy. But I'm thinking cheapest way to win a car, get the car that is for the circuit and the event. And XI Racing Toyota Camry is my pick, and maybe Hendrick Motorsports. Those two, obviously we didn't have a 23XI in the past, but usually a Camry, a Hendrick Motorsports, Camaros will perform relatively close to one another. I don't think one's gonna blow the other one out the window or out the water or out whatever, right? So there you go. So that's my recommendation with the little chart that you can see. You can pause the video, obviously, and kind of study it for yourself and pick your own team that you would like to try it out, right? So coming back to the team picking screen, well, what do we need to cover here? I think that's really the main thing that I wanted to go over. And for the 23XI Racing, we just have one racer, Bubba Wallace. And yeah, so there you go. Motorsports special events require tuning setup for their unique race conditions. Focus is entirely on speed at the expense of grip and braking. Perfect for oval racing. Exactly, as I've been saying. And it's going to be a 5-day event. So 5-stage, 5-day, but you do get a 3-hour instant service and instant tuning setup installation when you start the event. So yeah, so that's pretty much the rundown of the different cars featured in this year. As you can see, 3-hour R&D time. By the way, if you want to test drive these cars yourself, then one of the things that you can do is these cars are featured in the daily race rotation. It's not for today as I'm making this video, but they do, come around. So you can take advantage of that. And while you're at it, you can add some driver XP to get a little head start on, and so on and so forth. So, and of course, these cars, each one of these cars, how much do they cost? I want to say they're cheaper than last year's. They are, each one is worth $2,150,000 motorsport dollars. So yeah, so I'll have all the relevant information in the description box for the video here. So hopefully that gives you ideas on which car to choose for this event, right? So yeah, that will do it for me in this video. So good luck, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care.